All right, ladies and gents, welcome to the last stream of the week here. We're going to talk about this new report today that's just come out, which pretty much affects most people, especially if you are middle class and have a job. But we're going to talk predominantly about the US at the moment. But this, very interestingly, correlates to a lot of European countries as well, also Canada and some other places. Just seems to be this, we'll get into it in a moment actually. Let me open first article I want to mention here. There's this new jobs report that's just come out, and it's talking about, well, you can see with the headline here. I want to show you the stats around this because it's quite unbelievable. The data has just been released. So this isn't, Fox News or whatever data. This is from the Department of Labor Statistics. And it showed that Americans lost more than 1.3 million jobs over the last 12 months. But that means that someone else got these jobs. And they're now saying the US economy is headed for a deep, dark recession. So this was the August jobs report, and it shows the employment numbers of US-born workers and foreign-born workers going on two very different trajectories. This shows a loss of 1.3 million jobs over the last 12 months, while foreign-born workers gained more than 1.2 million jobs. So this is very interesting. This news comes as US job growth picked up in August but missed economists' expectations, while the unemployment rate changed little. Well, actually, if we look at the U6 rate, we'll see that the unemployment actually rose quite heavily. Of course, they don't like to use the official rate. They like to use the U3 rate. So as of August this year, there are 130 million almost native-born workers compared to 131 million of August last year, meaning a plummeting reduction of 1.3 million jobs. Now, it gets worse than this. We have to go on to some other data in a second, which we'll do here on CBS News. So in comparison, there were 31.6 million foreign-born workers in the US as of last month, compared to 30.4 million in August 2023. So there was a surge of 1.2 million jobs. So it's not really a mystery here as to where the jobs went. It's almost perfectly correlated. The figures do not differentiate between foreign-born workers who entered the country with authorization, i.e. green card holders, and those with working visas, and those who entered without prior authorization. However, we do have those stats. The US has witnessed a surge of migrants under the Biden-Harris admin, with figures from the CBO showing a net gain of more than 9 million since the end of 2020. About 2.6 million of those immigrants are lawful permanent residents, which includes green card holders and other migrants who came through legal channels such as family or employment-based visas. The remaining 6.5 million, referred to as other foreign nationals, are made up of those who cross the southern border without prior authorization. How you can work without the right documentation is beyond me. These employers seem to be taking a massive risk, but there it is. The US Department of Labor on Friday reported that employers added 142,000 jobs in August compared to the 160,000 gain that was projected. So it hasn't hit. So they're talking about this 4.3% rise in unemployment in July, but it's actually 8.3% if you go by the official U6 rate. Now, this is from, again, CBS News. The middle class jobs are shrinking and could one day disappear. So this is a new report that they have just done, and we'll explain why. Dozens of occupations that collectively employ hundreds of thousands of Americans in decent paying jobs are likely to shrink over the next decade, according to recent government data. Now, this is really interesting that these reports are coming out right now, because this is exactly what I've created in my program over the last year that I've been working on it. And if you've taken the program, you'll know that this morning I just released the bonus module and the conclusion. And the bonus module is all about where there's massive opportunities and where we're just going to lose a lot of jobs. And this report goes into it. We'll go back to the shared screen in a moment. It actually goes into the where these jobs are being destroyed. And it's so interesting because if you correlate that to the information page, which we'll do in a moment, I just want you to look at this. This is the information page of the program. And you look at all these jobs here. We're going to correlate this in a moment to what this new report, and by the way, I made this page a long time ago. When you see this report that's just come out, you'll find something quite interesting. So the jobs face a range of challenges from the impact of AI, which was the last module I talked about with the jobs and how you can actually take advantage of it and how you can mitigate your risk, to changing consumer habits that will result in fewer workers needed to fill the jobs. Again, we've covered this. Altogether, these generally middle-class professions, which pay from $40,000 on the low end to no more than $100,000 a year on the higher end, are forecast to shed more than 600,000 jobs by 2033. And again, this is from the Department of Labor statistics. Okay, this isn't someone's making this up. This is the official data. Most shrinking middle-class jobs only require a high school degree to enter the field. Now, look at this. This is scary how close this is. Office clerks down 6%, and job losses almost 150,000. First-line supervisors of retail sales workers down 90,000. These are all the jobs. So have a look if your job is on here, because these are the ones that are about to get hit really, really hard. Word processors and typists, well, that's going to wipe out most of them because they won't be needed. Computer programmers, AI is going to do a lot of this stuff. But there is some saving grace here, and that is, if we scroll down a little bit, this is where there's going to be more jobs required. So you can look at this here, and you can actually preempt this for yourself, because I know a lot of people always sort of go into fear mode over this, or freeze mode, where you just say, I'm just going to not do anything and wait till it happens. Honestly, my friends, I'd say maybe don't do that, because if you wait, you're going to be right at the back end and you'll have this mass wave. It's going to sort of move, it'll be this sort of shape, and you're going to see the early adopters, which are going through now already, and they are looking to the future to get into the new positions ready. So they'll be ahead, and then when the wave comes through, all these other people, they're going to try and get in, but you'll already have authority and you'll have more years ahead of the wave. So you've still got a little bit of time, maybe 2 or 3 years before the big bulk of the wave comes through, but it's already started now. So you just got to prepare for all of this. So this shows where there's going to be demand on workers. Medical is a big one. They're saying there's a huge demand for medical. Anything medical is a big one. So you can have a look at these areas. Also, substance abuse, behavioral disorder, mental health. This is also showing as a huge requirement, which is a little bit worrying actually. But yeah, if you haven't taken the program yet, everything's done. It's all uploaded. It's 100% complete. So you can find the link to that in the description. You can take, it's actually 3 programs in one, as anyone who's been going through will tell you. It's basically 3 programs in one. So let's continue on then with all of this. So this is the statistics. This is from the official data. It shows foreign-born workers showed a big increase. Again, this was in October of 2019. We'll go to the recent data all the way down to just normal, hardworking Americans. I'm not saying the foreign-born workers aren't hardworking. I'm sure they are, but this is where we are with the data. Starting at the top, while the number of employed workers did rise by 168,000, looking closer at the comparison of this increase is disastrous. That's because it consisted of an increase of 527,000 part-time jobs, offset by a plunge of 438,000 full-time jobs. So this is what we've seen. full-time jobs are falling, part-time jobs are increasing. And that falls in line perfectly with the forecast from 2021 that I made, that we would see this, and it is coming into play now. And this is as a result of the economy weakening, but also of AI increasing. This means that since last June, the US has added just over 2 million part-time jobs and has lost over 1.5 million full-time jobs. Now, this is not good for any economy. And as we get to the modern day here, which is August 2024, we can see it's the same correlation, except this has gotten worse. The red bar has increased massively, as has the green bar here. So it's not good at all. The US created 0 jobs for what they call native-born workers in the past 6 years. Actually, it's dropped, while this bar has increased dramatically. And again, we can see this chart. You can get this data from the FRED data, which is the Federal Reserve data. Pretty worrying, I would say. Even the payroll change has dropped. So we're not seeing positive things, but sticking with the US, we have this gentleman who you can't even say his name on YouTube, believe it or not. You instantly get a shadow ban, as I found out twice before. I know what the pattern is now, so I won't fall into that trap. He's pleaded guilty in the tax evasion case. I want to know what you think in the comments. Do you think he will go to prison? That's what I would like to know. Do you think he will? I would say I've looked through all the, not the evidence, but I've looked over the whole case and seen, I mean, it's pretty serious stuff. It's not just 1 or 2 things. There's quite a lot of different things here. And looking at other cases, it seems as though he might get 2 to 4 years prison, 2 to 4 year prison sentence. I think he might actually get a prison sentence. So we'll see if his father decides to pardon him. I mean, what is he? He's 81 years old. He's already out. They've ousted him, haven't they, in their coup. I wonder if he'll just say, you know what? Forget it. I'm done anyway. I'm going to pardon him. That would be very interesting. Let me know in the comments below what you think will happen. We had this as well from this retired general who said that the US is now on the pathway towards another world war, which is very interesting. He said that the US faces the most serious and most challenging threat since 1945, including the potential for a near-term major war. It also found, this is a recent commission that's just been done, it also found that China and Russia are major powers seeking to undermine the US, and that the US military lacks both the capability and the capacity required to be confident it can deter and prevail in combat. Now, it doesn't really explain in granular detail why this is. So I'm going to see if I can get more information on that. What has fundamentally changed from one admin to the other is Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are all working together. We've covered this on other videos. They're collaborating, coordinating, they're truly helping each other, he stressed. And the fact that they perceive the US as being weak and they're going to take advantage of it. So they've been incentivized by their perception. As a result, it is possible that the US could find itself in a conflict with China, and at the same time Russia and Iran up their game because they believe the US can't. The US would be challenged to handle the conflict with China, much less the 2 others, and that would mean global war, he explained. So it's quite an interesting interview on this. We've also had now Iran, this is quite a catchy headline because it's about ballistic missiles. US goes ballistic over new Iranian missile transfer to Russian forces. So these are the missiles that have just been transferred then. And Biden has said that he's going to submit a severe response. But really, I don't know what more they can do to Iran. They've already sanctioned them so much that I don't really know what more they can do. And then another, I thought this was quite interesting because I often get asked, Neil, Where are you going to? You've got different visas and things, escape visas. Where are you going to? Or where can I go if you are in Europe? Well, this just came out from Visual Capitalist, and I thought this was quite interesting. So it shows the UK here as the neutral country, and then it shows prices high to low. Ireland is one of the higher price places, as is Luxembourg, but they also have higher salaries in Luxembourg. You got, now quite ironically, the further east you go, Poland, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Lithuania, etc., you're closer to where there's going to be action in the future. So you could be out of the frying pan into the fire, as it were, going this way. But I think I mentioned a few times to many of you, I'm actually going to write a detailed post on this on the Patreon with all the different visas and different options that you can get if you are concerned, because obviously I'm concerned with all the sort of escalation. I think it's only going to go one way. But I think the message here is don't get frozen by fear around all of this, because there's a lot of things you can do. You can look into different visas, different work visas. You can travel around like I did during COVID. I just hopped from country to country where they changed the traffic light system, did that for almost 2 years, if you remember, jumped around. You can get different visas, especially if you work online, very cheap. Some of them are just a couple $100, give you up to 5 years in countries. You can take any of my programs. If you haven't taken any of them, you could look into them. I think they're massively valuable, less than a 0.1% refunds rate on it, which I've been told is the lowest across the whole platform. No one else has got a rate that low. One of the highest satisfaction ratings across all the programs as well. The ratings are the highest. So I think have a look at them. You can't really go wrong. They've got a money back guarantee on them. You can do that. Set yourself up digitally as a backup, maybe as a side hustle. That's where jobs are going now anyway. They're not staying full time. They're going very heavily part-time and gig work and all sorts of other things. And it's only going to ramp up as the AI ramps up. So I think just start placing yourself in a stronger position now and start planning for these things. And someone who I was speaking to recently said, Neil, I've got kids though. I've got a couple of kids in school and I can't move them and all this other thing. But then at the same time, they're saying, I need to pull my kids out of school, Neil. The things they're being taught now, I'm really scared and I'm really worried. And just like, you know, homeschooling is booming now. If you look at the stats on homeschooling, it is through the roof, the amount of people that are moving out. So there's always options. It's just looking into these options and taking advantage of it. All right, well, I'll leave it there. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you, it's beautiful and sunny here. It has been for the last couple of days. So I hope you've got good weather wherever you are, and just stay blessed. If you've got your health, you've got a good family, then you are blessed, my friend. Apart from that, take care. God bless you and your family, and I will see you next week now, probably Monday. All right, take care.